Hello and welcome. In this video, we will discuss the solution procedure for dual problems. Here are the steps for the procedure. This procedure consists of 6 steps. Step 1 is first we will convert the minimization problem into maximization and be careful about the inequalities for the conversion. Step 2 is we introduce the slack variables in the constraints and find the initial basic solution by transforming it into a standard form. In step 3, we will check for 3 conditions. Number 1 is if all delta j's and xb are positive, then the basic feasible solution is optimal. And second condition is if all delta j's are positive and at least one value for xb column is negative, then we have to proceed towards step number 5. And last condition is if at least one value in delta j values is negative, then this procedure is not appropriate to solve the problem. In step 4, select the most negative value of xb and that will be regarded as outgoing vector. Step 5 is check for values of xr. If all xr values are non-negative, means positive, then no feasible solution exists of that problem. If at least one xr value is negative, then we have to compute the value and to determine incoming vector. So after deciding the outgoing and incoming vector, we perform iterations as we have already learnt in OR course 1 by finding the pivot element by row operations. Then we check the new iterated dual simplex table. We elaborate all these steps in the next slides with an example problem. Example. Here's a demonstration for steps 1 to 6. Here is a primal problem in minimization form, and we have to convert that form into its canonical maximization form, and here is that form. And after that, in step 2, we make the standardization of the form, and here we add the slacks in the problem on left hand side with variables s1 and s2, and these variables are restricted and positive. And we find the initial basic solution by putting the decision variables of the problem equal to 0 and finding the solution. So here is the tuple for solution 0, 0, minus 2 and minus 1. So in this solution x1 and x2 are 0 and s1 is minus 2 and s2 is minus 1. So for this solution we get the objective value as 0. Here is a starting table or initial table. This table is constructed, and we already have learned from OR1 course that in this tableau form we write some basic variables, and here the Cj represents the coefficients of the objective function, and Cb the values in the objective function of the basic variables like 0 and 0. We will write these values in front of S1 and S2, and XB represents the right hand side of the problem. Constants on the right hand side. Here is minus 2 and minus 1. So these values are the coefficients of the constraints in the problem, and then we calculate two things. One is z dash and second one is delta j. This is how to calculate z dash. Z dash, we use this formula. We multiply CB values with XB values. These are the two tuples, and we can multiply and find the values. We multiply 0 with minus 2 and 0 with the minus 1 and we add them. Then we come up with the value that is z dash is 0. So that's the solution value at this stage. And how can we find delta J? For delta J, we use this formula, that is CB into XJ minus CJ. And we find different values, delta 1, delta 2 and delta 3. How can we find delta 1? We use values in CB column which are 0, 0, and we multiply 0 with minus 1 with the first column under x1 and 0 with x3, and we add them and we subtract Cj from this value. So here is the value 2. Similarly, we can find delta 2, that is 1, and delta 3 is 0. We write these values in front of delta row, in front of delta in that row, and here all delta j's are positive and xb they are negative. So initial solution is not optimal. We can move further to find the improved solution. Here the step 4 of the procedure, selecting most negative value after finding these calculations. So after having calculations on the previous slide, we have to decide which vector represents the outgoing value or variable. In this case, S1 is outgoing, as we find the most negative value in XB, and that value is minus 2. And for this variable, I mean S1 will be going out of the basis. Here are the bases, I mean basic variables, and then we have to find which variable will replace this S1. That will be incoming vector. So vector XR values all are not positive. XR values not positive, at least one value is negative. For example, if we start from value minus 1, minus 1 again, and 1 and 0, these are the values for XR. And is there any value that is negative? Yes, there is at least one value negative in this row. So we have to calculate a new value, that is the maximum of these two values calculated here. So we always calculate these values by dividing the delta J values by the corresponding XR values which are negative. So we only list here in this row or vector only values from XR which are negative. We find the ratios for those values XR which are negative. So here are the two values for XR which are negative. So we find from delta J with XR. So delta J value is 2, first value, and we divide this value by first value of XR vector, and again the second value of delta J is 1. We divide that value by minus 1, and rest of the values are positive. So we don't proceed from there onward for these ratios. So we have only two values. After solving these fractions, we come with values minus 2 and minus 1. So from here we will pick the most positive or the larger value. So if we compare minus 2 and minus 1, then minus 1 is the greater value than minus 2. Now how to decide the incoming variable? For this maximum value, and we find the incoming value. For example, this maximum values was from delta J's value, that is 1, and if we look at the top of this column, and we will find the variable x2. So x2 will be incoming in the basis and s1 will be outgoing from the basis. As from the previous slide, we know x2 is the incoming variable in the basis and s1 was the outgoing variable from the basis. After that, we perform some row operations on the coefficients and make the pivot element as +1, and with the help of row operations we make all elements in the pivot column as 0 which are other than the pivot element. And this we have already done in operation research OR1 course, and after doing that we find a new value for the objective function, and this value is -2 in this case. And we find delta j's. For that is delta 1. Delta 1 is 1, like the previous slide. Delta 2 is 0 and delta 3 is 0. So we write these values, and delta 3 is -1 and delta 4 is 0. And we write these values in the delta row, and we check the condition. As the step 3 says, if at least one delta j is negative, then this method is inappropriate to solve further this problem. So at this stage we are not able, by using that procedure, we are not able to find the solution. So we'll stop here as delta j is negative. We will stop here and rather think about some other method to solve this problem. Here is an example number 2. Here is a primal for this example, and we have converted the primal into a dual one. That's the optimal solution of the primal, and please note that's a Torah solution for the problem, and this final solution has been obtained after 6th iteration. In this case we find the 55 as the objective function value. That was of minimization. Original problem was primal was for minimization, and we have decision variable values like 30 and 25, and their contributions like 30 and 25 again, as their coefficients were 1 and 1. So we have solved the primal problem, and now the dual problem solution again from Torah. That was after the 3rd iteration. We were able to find the optimal solution, and please note the optimal value is same for primal and the dual. I have taken a textbook problem, the problem 21 in the exercise. The given primal is here and its dual is this one. After performing the simplex iterations in the previous slide problem, here is the dual optimal solution. In this solution, the zj values in that row, in this row, we find that the optimal solution is x1 value is 15 by 2 and x2 value is 15 and x3 is 0 against the slacks we used, and this represents the original variable for the original problem. So optimal value for the dual is 75. That's the table is for dual, and the optimal value is 75. From this we have conceived the original variable values, final values for x1, that is 15 by 2, and for x2 is 15 and x3 is 0. And substituting x1 and x2 in the original problem and the primal one, and we get the same solution value, objective function value, that is 75. Here is another problem for your practice. This may be regarded as an assignment problem. Problem is of minimization, and the question is you have to find the dual problem for this and solve this dual simplex problem by using the procedures as elaborated from step 1 to 6 in the at the start of this video. Thank you.